Hello everyone, this is Albert again, and I believe that you have watched my previous video regarding why you need a shed and why you can do it. So I'm sure that you have the confidence right now and you're very eager to learn what are the major steps to build a shed. Okay, so here are the major steps from the very beginning to the very end. This includes the site selection, site preparation, and the last step is interior finish. So in this video, I will do step 1 and 2, and in the following videos, I will cover everything. Just for your sake, when I did my project, there are some mistakes I made that I wish that you need to avoid. So those are the you can see the cross and the red. That's something you need to pay attention. Then there's also something when I reflect how I built this project is if I would do it again, there's something that I want to change. But since you're doing it the first time, I hope that you can implement my recommendations to your project. I really hope that your shed is more solid and it's more beautiful than what I have. Okay, so I think that's a beauty. Then there's something that I think I did it pretty well. For example, install the skylight and maybe also the ventilation. That's something that you can follow. Okay, so pay attention to those legend, avoid the red, and hopefully you can follow the green things and pay attention to the orange, which you can improve from my project. Okay, so first step, site selection. Originally, we look at the locations. We have a big backyard, and we have 2 locations. One is here, another one is here. But the issue is our best location already have some plants and flowers, and not a lot. So we're a bit lazy, and we said maybe we don't want to move the plants and flowers. Then actually we say, oh, let's move it to another location which don't have plants, don't have flowers, but it is not the best location. But anyway, we did this in the wrong location. I did it pretty nicely with my daughter together. But then later on, we thought about this again, and we say, okay, this is a shed that's gonna stand there for 10 years or maybe even 20 years. So let's pick the best location for it, right? So what I did is we moved some plants to somewhere else, and we picked the best location for the shed. And one thing about the site selection that's very important is after this project is built, the shed is built. Every time I come from the front to my backyard, and when I open the door, and the first thing I see is this shed. So the visibility is also very important, because every time I see this shed that me and my family built, I feel really proud of myself and the team, and I really like the beauty of this shed. So one consideration when you select your shed is make it visible, and because every time you pass by it and you feel proud of yourself, you feel fulfilled, and so that's another consideration. So after the site selection, and you need to make sure the distance between your shed and the fence is more than 2 feet. I choose 2 feet, but I would recommend to do 2.5 feet, because the thing is 2 feet is a little bit too narrow for me. And imagine that you build a shed, and this is your time to climb up the shed and install your roof, and this 2 feet, it's a little bit too narrow, and it's a little bit difficult to put a ladder over there. So I would really recommend 2.5 feet. Okay, and also one thing, don't forget, when you choose your location, make sure the site is flat and we don't want to build a shed that's wiggly or that's on a slope. Okay, so site selection is done. Now you can do the site preparation. So first thing you do is you dig your soils out, and that's going to be inches deep, and then you determine your size of sheet, which is shed, which is very important. I called the Markham. This is the city I lived. They say if you build a shed which is less than 108 square feet, then you don't need a building permit, right? And so mine is choose 7 by 8, which is 56 square feet, so which is way under 108. I do feel a little bit small, but the reason why I picked 7 by 8 is I'll show you why. Here we have, once you buy the shed kit, you can see here from the Amazon, it give you 20 pages of instructions. Okay, so this is why it gave me some confidence, even I'm not a handyman, and then you can look at all those instructions and build it by yourself. So go back to the topic. So here in the shed kit, they give you 3 choices. One is 7 by 8, another one is 8 by 14, 10 by 22. Really, based on the city code, without a build permit, what I can only do is 7 by 8. So that's the reason I choose 7 by 8. Okay, so choose a 7 by 8. Then now you know the length of your lumber that you need to buy, right? So that's the size. And then after that, you measure the distance between the fence and the shed. Then you can lay down your 4 blockers, right? 4 deck blockers. Make sure the blockers are leveled. Okay, that's very important. And make sure when you put your lumber down, it's actually rectangle. So one trick that you can use is you always measure the rectangle. So if the rectangle, you always measure the diagonal. If the diagonal are the same length, then you can sure your shape is really a rectangle. Okay, so one thing I want to emphasize here, the recommendation is when I build my shed, let's call this guy shed bed. The shed bed that I have is 7 by 8 too. The shed itself is 7 by 8. So in this case, my shed basically directly sit on the lumbers, right? Which I think is not perfect. That's why I recommend you, if you build a shed 7 by 8, make sure your shed bed is a bit wider. So I would suggest maybe 8 by 9. That's the best. And you can see here, I searched some pictures in the internet, and I really like this design. And you can see here the shed bed is wider and longer than the shed itself. So in this case, shed basically sitting on the crushed gravel, which I think it's more solid, and the water can go through this crushed gravel, right? So it makes your shed more durable and less impacted by the water. So I would highly recommend you build a shed bed more than 7 by 8, more than the size of your shed. Okay, now after you decide this and all of that, you can lay down the lumbers, right? Here I have another recommendation. When you lay down the lumbers, I would suggest you use treated wood, because this is more water resistant. Okay, after that, I also did a lot of research. Some people suggest you put a vapor barrier, because eventually if you put directly without a vapor barrier, and there will be moisture coming out from the soil, and then it may erode your shed base. Okay, so I took the recommendation. I put my vapor barrier, cover the soil, and then I put my crushed gravel in. So the reason why we need to crush the gravel is they bite each other well, so it becomes solid. You definitely don't want to buy some rounded gravels, and those will go everywhere. So this is not good for your solid foundation for the shed. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments, please leave me a comment. So you, by far, that you have finished your site selection and site preparation. In my next video, I will cover how do you install the base and install the shed structure. Okay, thank you very much. And if you decide to do it now, please look at my video. Please look at my link link in my description, and you can buy the Amazon kit. Hopefully using my link, because I earned a little bit commission from that link. If you don't buy, and that's fine too. Okay, I just really hope that you enjoy the process of building a shed. Okay, so thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.